Alright, yo, what's up? My name is Patrouski, and I've been playing PokeMMO for 9 or 10 years now, so I do have a lot of experience with the game, and I've seen a lot of updates, changes, regions added, tons of things change about the game over the past decade or so, and I'm going to be talking about something today that kind of has that expertise, or hopefully I can give a perspective on that. I will say, I'm still but a player, but a man. I'm just trying to learn every single day, and I'm just going to be talking about my thoughts, my opinion on it. I want everybody to know that your thoughts and your opinions on this are just as valid as mine. Just because I have some experience doesn't mean you're wrong or incorrect. This is all conjecture and just my thoughts and opinions. Keep that in mind going into this. Now, one of the most common questions and slash interesting questions that I see asked in my stream chat or in my community is, do I think that they will add Black and White 2 to PokeMMO? This is a really interesting question because it's a weird middle ground. Black and White 2 isn't quite a remake of Black and White, but it also isn't quite its own game, which is kind of where it becomes into this thing of, I'll just say my opinion, I personally don't think the devs will waste their time adding Black and White 2 to the game. I think it is too similar to Black and White 1. I think there's not enough changes. I think that it's not enough of its own game. I know it's not quite a remake, so I usually kind of compare it to, that would be the same as if they added Diamond and Pearl and then also Platinum. Like, what's kind of the point of that? Having multiple regions, it just kind of hurts balancing for gym reruns. It makes things more complicated for balance. And it's a lot of redundancy for a lot of dev time. People don't realize how much dev time goes into adding a new region to the game. It's actually quite difficult. There's a lot of balancing, a lot of things to like double, triple, quadruple check to make sure encounters work a certain way, etc., etc. When you're in an MMO format where every single region has to mesh together and balance together, it's really, really tough, right? So they can't just be like, the region itself can't be isolated and be balanced in that way. It has to be balanced in regards to the other regions that are already implemented into the game, correct? So anyways, I don't think they'll be adding Black and White 2 unless they need to add it to change the base game or base ROM of PokeMMO. So currently, the base game / base ROM is Black and White 1, and that allows for like certain engine stuff, certain developer stuff. I'm not a developer. I have so little coding experience, most of which is HTML, so I am very, very out of my depth on this. But the point I'm trying to make is, the only reason I see them taking the development time to actually add Black and White 2 to the game and taking the resources, in my opinion, would be to actually make it the new core ROM. Make it the core base ROM that the game runs off of for some sort of reason. I don't know what that reason would be, but they have sort of hinted at that, hey, if we wanted to add sort of more custom endgame content like dungeons or raids or something that could be a lot more MMO-esque, maybe some quests or something of the sort, that Black and White 2 might need to become the new basis. They could also go off in that direction where instead of adding Gen 6, because that's going to be probably one of the largest hills to climb that PokeMMO will ever climb, right? Going from Gen 5 to Gen 6. They've done this in the past where they've gone from Gen 3 to Gen 4 and Gen 5, which people thought was impossible back when, they went from a GBA only game. PokeMMO released as a Fire Red only game back in 2012. They then added Hoenn in 2015. They then added Unova in 2017, and then added Sinnoh in 2019. Johto's coming in 2023. What's next is sort of the discussion currently. What is after Johto? Which is, we're so far from that, probably 2 to 4 years away from that, but still, it's an important question to ask. Do we think they'll go for... They have two huge paths, right? They could go for their own separate sort of Pokemon MMO and really go for custom content, but sort of risk more legality issues or copyright loopholes. I don't know how much that would take them out of that, and go for that Black White 2 sort of that path, that Black White 2 path, which I think would take them down a more custom path, or they could go down the trying to find workarounds for Gen 6, and that is a very difficult path, and I'm really not sure which one they'll go with. I don't know which they'll prioritize. I don't know which the community wants overall. Maybe leave your feedback and opinions down below. I'm sure the developers could hopefully get sort of information or feedback from my videos sometimes, or from the community polls. I would love to see whether people would love them. Which path do people want to see them go? Do we want to see them go down Black White 2 and go down a custom MMO-themed path? Or do we want to see them go down Gen 6 and sort of relive the expansions? Or Is there something else we're not thinking of? Is there something else that the developers have in mind or have planned that the player base has not thought of? This is their full-time job, right? This is their full-time job. They think about this all the time. I think 95% of the time or so, game developers have probably thought of most of what the player base could come to. However, when the player base is a collective, a very, very large group of individuals, even though it's not our full-time job, we can sometimes come up with ideas that they haven't thought of because we're such a large group of people versus they're like 4 to 5 minds, right? So anyways, going off a little bit of a tangent here. A little bit of a ramble. That's my thoughts on whether or not they'll add Black and White 2. I don't see it personally just for like a standalone region. I feel like it'd be a huge waste of dev time and a waste of resources. However, if they want to switch it over to the base or core ROM, I think that would give them really strong cause and good reason to add Black and White 2. That's my thoughts. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments down below. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Dislike if you didn't. Subscribe to the channel for daily PokeMMO content. Follow the Twitch for streams Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. EST. And the Discord link is down below. Have a great day. I'll see you guys later. Peace.